You'll never be accepted in my family's circles. I need someone who fits, Trent had said 6 years ago. First day at the most exclusive private school in the city. Trent walked his twins to class. His wife stayed for the parent coffee. Then his daughter ran up excited. "Daddy, we made new friends. They look just like us." 3 black children in matching uniforms stood behind her, waving. Trent's heart stopped. Those faces. His faces. ×3. His wife laughed nervously. "That's quite the coincidence." Then the school director approached. "Mr. and Mrs. Collins, I'd like you to meet our largest donor." Simone stepped forward in a $20,000 suit. "Hello, Trent. Funny meeting you here. I see our children have already met." His wife's coffee cup exploded on the marble floor. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. "Mommy, my tummy feels funny." Maya Collins held her mother's hand tighter as they walked through the tall wooden doors of Riverside Academy. The building was made of red brick and had windows that reached almost to the sky. Lauren Collins knelt down and smoothed her daughter's dark curly hair. "You are going to love kindergarten, sweetheart. Your brother will be right there with you." Marcus stood next to his father, Trent Collins. The boy looked exactly like his sister. They both had light brown skin, hazel eyes, and the same small nose. Marcus was trying to be brave, but his hand was sweating inside his father's palm. "Can we go home after this?" Marcus asked. Trent wore a dark suit and a blue tie. He had a meeting at his architecture firm later that afternoon. He checked his watch. It was 8:45 in the morning. "You will have so much fun that you will not want to go home," Trent said. "Trust me." They walked down a hallway with shiny floors. The walls were painted cream and covered with drawings made by older students. Lauren wore a white dress and pearl earrings. She carried a leather bag over her shoulder. They reached a classroom with a yellow door. A sign on the door said, "Mrs. Patterson Kindergarten." Inside, the room was bright. The walls were yellow. There were posters showing the alphabet and numbers. Small tables and chairs filled the space. A bookshelf stood in the corner with picture books. 3 children sat at one of the tables. They were coloring with crayons. A woman walked over to greet them. She had gray hair pulled back in a bun and kind brown eyes. She wore a long skirt and a cardigan sweater. "Good morning. I am Mrs. Patterson. You must be Marcus and Maya." The twins nodded but did not speak. Lauren touched Maya's shoulder. "They are a little nervous," Lauren said with a smile. "That is perfectly normal," Mrs. Patterson said. She bent down to look at the children. "I have 3 friends who are already here. Would you like to meet them?" Marcus and Maya looked at their parents. Trent nodded. The twins walked slowly to the table where the other children sat. Lauren and Trent stood near the door watching. The 3 children at the table looked up. One was a boy with short curly hair. Another was a boy with slightly longer curly hair. The third was a girl with 2 puffballs on the top of her head, held with bright yellow ties. "This is Jordan, Elijah, and Zara," Mrs. Patterson said. "Can you 3 say hello to Marcus and Maya?" "Hello," Jordan said. He had a serious expression on his face. "Hi," Elijah said loudly. He was already smiling. Zara just stared. Marcus and Maya sat down at the table. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then something strange happened. All 5 children looked at each other carefully. They tilted their heads. They stared at each other's faces. Mrs. Patterson noticed it too. She stepped closer to the table and squinted. The 5 children had the same eyes, the same color, the same shape. They had the same nose, the same mouth. Even their hair was the same texture and color. Mrs. Patterson pulled a small notebook from her pocket and wrote something down. She would need to check the school records later. This was unusual. "Do you want to draw with us?" Elijah asked Marcus. Marcus nodded. Zara pushed a box of crayons toward Maya. The 5 children began to color together. Lauren turned to Trent. "We should probably go. They seem okay." Trent was still staring at the 3 other children. Something felt strange to him, but he could not explain what it was. He shook his head slightly. "Yes, let us go." They said goodbye to Marcus and Maya. The twins barely looked up. They were already focused on their drawings. Lauren and Trent walked out of the classroom and down the hallway. They stepped outside into the warm September sunshine. "That went better than I expected," Lauren said. "Those other 3 children?" Trent said slowly. "Did you notice anything about them?" Lauren thought for a moment. "They seemed nice. Why?" Trent shook his head again. "Nothing. Never mind." They drove home in Trent's black car. The house was in Cambridge, not far from the school. It was a large colonial house with white columns in the front. Lauren made coffee and checked her phone. Trent changed out of his suit and put on jeans and a sweater. His meeting had been canceled. At 2:30 in the afternoon, they drove back to Riverside Academy for pickup. Parents were already gathering outside the yellow door. Lauren held a cup of coffee in her hand. They walked into the classroom. Marcus and Maya were still at the table with Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. All 5 children were laughing. They had paint on their hands and paper in front of them. Mrs. Patterson stood near them with a confused look on her face. She kept glancing at the children and then at her notebook. Trent stepped into the room. He looked at the 3 children sitting with his twins. His heart started beating very fast. His hands suddenly felt cold. His mouth went dry. No, it could not be. He stared at Jordan, then at Elijah, then at Zara. He looked at their faces, their eyes, their noses, their smiles. These were his children. He knew it the way you know something without being told. The way you know the sun will rise, or that winter will come. He knew it in his bones. Simone. His mind raced backward 6 years. He saw her face, her smile, her voice, the phone call when he ended everything, the number he blocked, the guilt he buried. He never knew. She never told him. Or she tried to tell him, and he never gave her the chance. His vision blurred. He felt dizzy. He reached out and held onto the doorway to keep himself steady. At that exact moment, a tall man walked into the classroom. He wore a gray suit and had white hair. It was Mr. Harrison, the director of Riverside Academy. Next to him was a woman. Trent's heart stopped completely. Simone Washington. She wore a black suit and black heels. Her hair was pulled back in a neat bun. She looked powerful, confident, successful. She carried a leather bag and wore small gold earrings. She looked like she could buy and sell everyone in the room. "Excuse me, everyone," Mr. Harrison said loudly. "May I have your attention, please?" The parents stopped talking and turned to look at him. "I want to introduce you to Simone Washington. Miss Washington is the founder and owner of Crown Strategies, one of the most successful marketing companies in New England. She has very generously donated $2 million to build a new library for Riverside Academy." The parents clapped. Some of them smiled. A few whispered to each other. $2 million was a lot of money. Simone smiled and nodded. She shook hands with several parents. She spoke in a calm, clear voice about education and opportunity. She talked about giving children the resources they need to succeed. She did not look at Trent. Not once. But then, for just 1 second, her eyes moved across the room. They landed on his face. She did not smile. She did not speak. She looked at him the way you look at a stranger on the street. Empty. Cold. Nothing. Then she looked away. Lauren was standing next to Trent. She saw his face turn completely white. She saw the way he stared at Simone. She saw the way his hands were shaking. She followed his gaze to the 3 children at the table. Jordan, Elijah, Zara. She looked at Marcus and Maya sitting next to them. 5 children who looked exactly the same. Lauren's hands started shaking. The coffee cup slipped from her fingers. It fell to the floor. The sound of breaking ceramic was loud in the quiet room. Hot coffee spread across the floor in a dark brown puddle. Everyone turned to look at her. Lauren stared at Trent. Her voice came out as a whisper, but in the silent room, everyone could hear it. "Who is she?" Trent could not speak. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Other parents were staring at them. The coffee was still spreading across the classroom floor. Mrs. Patterson rushed to get paper towels. "We should go," Trent finally said. His voice sounded strange, quiet, distant. Lauren bent down and picked up Marcus and Maya's backpacks. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely hold them. She called to the twins, "Marcus, Maya, time to go home." The children ran over. Marcus was smiling. "Mom, we made new friends. Their names are Jordan and Elijah and Zara. They look just like us." Maya nodded fast. "Can they come to our house, please?" Lauren did not answer. She took their hands and walked quickly out of the classroom. Trent followed behind them. He looked back once. Simone was talking to Mr. Harrison and another parent. She did not look his way. The walk to the car felt like it took forever. Lauren strapped Marcus and Maya into their car seats. Trent got into the driver's seat. He started the engine. Nobody spoke. "Jordan has a dinosaur lunchbox," Marcus said from the back seat. "Just like mine." "Zara showed me how to draw a flower," Maya said. "She is really good at drawing." Trent drove through the streets of Cambridge. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tight, his knuckles turned white. Lauren stared out the window. She did not look at him. She did not look at the children. She just stared. They pulled into the driveway of their house. The white columns looked the same as always. The front door was the same dark blue. Everything looked normal. But nothing was normal. "Can we have pizza for dinner?" Marcus asked as they walked inside. "Sure," Lauren said quietly. "Go upstairs and wash your hands, both of you." The twins ran up the stairs. Their footsteps were loud on the wooden steps. As soon as they were gone, Lauren turned to Trent. "Not now," she said. "After they go to bed." Trent nodded. The next 3 hours were the longest of Trent's life. Lauren made pizza from a box in the freezer. They ate at the kitchen table. The twins talked and talked about their first day of school. They talked about the other children. They talked about painting and singing in the playground. Trent could barely eat. Every bite felt like sand in his mouth. Lauren ate nothing. She just moved food around her plate with a fork. After dinner, Lauren gave Marcus and Maya a bath. She helped them put on pajamas. She read them a bedtime story about a bear who lost his hat. The twins asked her to read it twice. Finally, at 8 o'clock at night, they fell asleep. Lauren walked downstairs. Trent was sitting on the couch in the living room. The room had gray walls and white furniture. A lamp was on in the corner. Lauren stood in the doorway. She crossed her arms. "Talk," she said. Trent rubbed his face with both hands. He took a deep breath. "I need to go to bed," he said. "Can we do this tomorrow?" "No." Lauren's voice was hard. "You will tell me right now. Who is that woman? Who is Simone Washington?" Trent looked down at his hands. "Someone I knew before I met you." "Someone you knew?" Lauren's voice got louder. "Those 3 children look exactly like Marcus and Maya. Exactly. So tell me the truth. Are they yours? Trent closed his eyes. Yes. The word hung in the air between them. Lauren walked into the room and sat down in a chair across from him. She did not sit on the couch next to him. She kept space between them. Tell me everything, she said. So Trent told her. He told her about meeting Simone at an art gallery in the South End 6 years ago. He told her how they dated for 3 years. He told her that Simone worked as a graphic designer. He told her that he loved Simone. He told her that his parents found out about the relationship. His mother cried. His father yelled. They said Simone was not good enough. They said she would embarrass the family. They said she did not have the right education or the right background. They threatened to cut him off from the family money. I was 28 years old, Trent said. His voice was shaking. I was weak. I called Simone and broke up with her over the phone. I did not give her a real reason. I just said it was not working. 2 months later, I met you at that charity event. My mother planned the whole thing. She introduced us. She said you were perfect. You came from the right family. You went to the right schools. 8 months later, we were married. Lauren sat perfectly still. Her face was white. Did you love me when you married me? I cared about you, Trent said. I wanted to love you. That is not what I asked. Trent did not answer. Did you know about the babies? Lauren asked. Did you know Simone was pregnant? No, Trent said quickly. I swear I did not know. After I broke up with her, I blocked her number. I could not handle the guilt. I could not handle hearing her voice. If she tried to call me, I never got the messages. I never knew she was pregnant. I never knew about Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. Lauren's hands were shaking. She pressed them together in her lap. Do you still love her? Trent looked up. He opened his mouth to answer, but he stopped. He could not say no. He could not lie about this. Not anymore. The silence stretched out. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. That silence was the answer. Lauren started crying. Tears ran down her face. She did not make any sound. She just sat there with tears falling. Our whole marriage is a lie, she whispered. Lauren, did you ever really choose me? She asked. Or was I just the safe choice? The one your parents approved of? The one who would not cause problems? Trent did not answer. He could not, because she was right. Lauren stood up. She wiped her face with her hands. I need you to sleep in the guest room tonight. Can we please talk about this? Trent asked. Can we? No. Lauren's voice was firm. I have been married to you for 5 years. I had your children. I built a life with you. And now I find out that you never really wanted me. You just wanted someone your parents would accept. I cannot look at you right now. I cannot be in the same room as you. So go to the guest room, now. Trent stood up slowly. He walked to the stairs. He looked back at Lauren. She was standing with her arms crossed, staring at the wall. He went upstairs. The guest room was small, with a twin bed and a dresser. He lay down on the bed, fully clothed. He did not sleep. He stared at the ceiling until the sun came up. Meanwhile, across the city in Back Bay, Simone Washington sat in her home office. The brownstone was quiet. Jordan, Elijah, and Zara had fallen asleep an hour ago. Simone wore sweatpants and a t-shirt. Her hair was down. She looked different than she had at the school. Less powerful, more tired. She sat at her desk with her laptop open. She was looking at sales reports for Crown Strategies, but she could not focus. She kept seeing Trent's face in that classroom. His shock, his fear, his guilt. She knew this day would come. Boston was not that big. Wealthy families all went to the same schools. She knew there was a chance Trent's children would end up at Riverside Academy. She had prepared herself for this moment. But seeing him in person was harder than she expected. Her phone rang. She looked at the screen. It was Keisha Moore. her best friend and business partner. Simone answered. "How did it go?" Keisha asked. "He was there," Simone said. "Did you talk to him?" "No." "What did he do?" "He stared at me," Simone said. "And then he stared at the children. I think he figured it out." "He did not know before today?" "I do not think so," Simone said. "You should have seen his face, Keisha. He looked like someone hit him." "Good," Keisha said firmly. "He deserves to feel pain. What he did to you was unforgivable." Simone closed her laptop. She picked up a glass of wine from her desk and took a sip. "He is going to try to contact me." "What are you going to do?" "Nothing," Simone said. "I am not going to respond. I built my life without him. I raised 3 children alone. I started a company. I do not need him now. I do not need his explanations or his apologies." "Good," Keisha said again. "You do not owe him anything." They talked for a few more minutes and then hung up. Simone finished her wine. She turned off the lamp on her desk. She walked upstairs and checked on the triplets. They were all sleeping. Jordan had kicked off his blanket. Simone pulled it back over him. Zara was holding a stuffed rabbit. Elijah was snoring softly. Simone stood in the doorway of their room for a long time. These 3 children were everything to her. They were the reason she worked so hard, the reason she survived, the reason she succeeded. Trent had nothing to do with that. He had nothing to do with them. She walked to her own bedroom. She lay down in bed and closed her eyes. But she did not sleep. She kept thinking about Trent's face, the way he looked at the children, the way he looked at her. After 6 years of silence, everything had changed in one afternoon. At 6 in the morning, Trent's phone buzzed. He picked it up. His hands were still shaking. He opened his email and began typing. "Simone, I am so sorry." He pressed send. The email disappeared from his screen. Trent stared at his phone and waited. 1 minute passed, then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. Nothing. He got up from the guest room bed. His suit from yesterday was wrinkled. He put on jeans and a clean shirt. He walked downstairs. Lauren was already in the kitchen making breakfast for Marcus and Maya. She wore yoga pants and a sweatshirt. Her eyes were red and swollen. "Good morning," Trent said quietly. Lauren did not respond. She put plates of eggs and toast on the table. The twins ran into the kitchen, already dressed in their school uniforms. "Dad, you look tired," Marcus said. "I am okay, buddy," Trent said. He tried to smile, but his face felt heavy. Lauren grabbed her car keys from the counter. "I am taking them to school today, alone." "Lauren, please." "No." She looked at him for the first time that morning. Her eyes were cold. "Marcus, Maya, get your backpacks. We are leaving." The twins hugged Trent goodbye. Lauren walked them out to her white SUV. Trent stood at the window and watched them drive away. The house felt empty and silent. He went to his architecture firm in downtown Boston, but he could not focus on anything. His desk was covered with blueprints for a new office building. His assistant brought him coffee. His phone rang 3 times. He did not answer. He just sat there, staring at his computer screen. At 12:30 in the afternoon, he left work. He told his assistant he was not feeling well. He drove to the waterfront district where Crown Strategies had its offices. The building was modern, with walls made of glass. He could see people working inside on different floors. Trent parked his car and walked into the lobby. The floor was marble. The ceiling was high. A security guard sat behind a large desk. He was a man in his 40s, wearing a dark blue uniform. "Can I help you?" the guard asked. "I need to see Simone Washington," Trent said. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but it is urgent. It is personal. Please, I just need 5 minutes." The guard picked up a phone and pressed a button. He waited. Someone answered on the other end. Trent could not hear the conversation. The guard nodded and hung up. "I am sorry, sir. Miss Washington is not available." "When will she be available?" Trent asked. "I can come back. Any time. Please." The guard looked uncomfortable. "Miss Washington does not have any open appointments. I am sorry." Trent realized what this meant. Simone had told her staff not to let him in. She knew he would come. She prepared for it. "Can you please just tell her I am here?" Trent said. His voice was desperate now. "Tell her it is Trent Collins. Tell her I just want to talk. 5 minutes. That is all I am asking." The guard shook his head. "I cannot do that, sir. I am going to have to ask you to leave." Trent stood there for a moment. He wanted to argue. He wanted to push past the desk and go upstairs, but he knew that would not help. He turned around and walked out of the building. He sat on a bench near the harbor. Boats moved across the dark water. People walked past him with coffee cups and briefcases. The wind was cold. Trent pulled out his phone. He opened his email and wrote another message to Simone. "I did not know you were pregnant. I swear I did not know. If I had known, I would have... I do not know what I would have done, but I would have tried. Please, I just want to talk. I want to meet them. Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. They are my children. Please." He pressed send. 10 minutes later, a message appeared on his screen. "This email address has blocked your message." Trent felt his chest tighten. He could not breathe. He put his phone in his pocket and stared at the water. He had no way to reach her, no way to explain, no way to fix what he broke 6 years ago. Meanwhile, at Riverside Academy, it was recess time. Marcus and Maya ran outside to the playground. The weather was warm. Other children were climbing on the jungle gym and playing tag. Marcus saw Jordan standing near the swings. He ran over. "Jordan, want a race?" Jordan smiled. "Okay," to the fence and back. They ran as fast as they could. Their sneakers hit the grass hard. Marcus reached the fence first, but Jordan was right behind him. They were both laughing when they got back to the swings. Maya found Zara near the sandbox. Zara was drawing in the sand with a stick. Maya sat down next to her. "What are you drawing?" Maya asked. "A house," Zara said, "with a big yard." "Can I help?" Zara nodded. She handed Maya another stick. They drew together in silence. After a few minutes, Zara looked at Maya. "You look like me," Zara said. "I know," Maya said. "My mom said it is a coincidence. Do you know what that means?" Zara shook her head. "It means it just happened by accident," Maya explained. "Like when two people wear the same shirt on the same day." Elijah ran over and joined them. "Can I draw too?" "Sure," Zara said. The 3 children drew in the sand. Marcus came over a minute later. Then all 5 of them were sitting together. They did not talk much. They just drew and played and laughed. Mrs. Patterson stood near the school building watching them. The assistant teacher, Miss Lopez, stood next to her. "Have you ever seen children bond this fast?" Mrs. Patterson asked. "Never," Miss Lopez said. "It is like they already knew each other." "I checked the records," Mrs. Patterson said quietly. "Different mothers, different addresses. But something is going on. Those children are related. I am sure of it." At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, parents arrived for pickup. Lauren pulled up in her white SUV. She parked and walked toward the playground. She saw Marcus and Maya playing with the triplets. Her heart felt heavy. Then she saw Simone. Simone was walking across the schoolyard toward the children. She wore dark jeans, a white blouse, and sunglasses. She looked calm and confident. She smiled when she saw her children. "Jordan, Elijah, Zara, time to go," Simone called. The 3 children ran to her. Marcus and Maya waved goodbye to them. Lauren stood about 20 feet away. She stared at Simone. For a moment, their eyes met. Lauren wanted to walk over. She wanted to say something, but she did not know what to say. Simone looked at Lauren for 2 seconds. Her face showed nothing. No anger, no sadness, nothing. Then she took her children's hands and walked toward her black Tesla. Lauren felt anger rise in her chest, but she also felt something else. Confusion. This woman did not look like a villain. She looked like a mother picking up her children from school. Just like Lauren. Lauren called Marcus and Maya. They ran to her and climbed into the SUV. During the drive home, the twins talked about their day. "Jordan can run really fast," Marcus said, "almost as fast as me." "Zara is teaching me how to draw better," Maya said. "She is really good at art." Lauren gripped the steering wheel. "Maybe you should play with some of the other children tomorrow. Make some different friends." "But we like Jordan and Elijah and Zara," Marcus said. "They are nice." Lauren did not respond. When they got home, Trent's car was in the driveway. Lauren's jaw tightened. She took the children inside. Trent was sitting at the kitchen table. He looked terrible. His eyes were red. His hair was messy. "Can we talk?" he asked Lauren. "Not now," she said. "Marcus, Maya, go upstairs and play in your room." The twins ran upstairs. Lauren waited until she heard their door close. Then she turned to Trent. "I called a lawyer today," she said. Trent stood up fast. "What?" "I called Amanda Richardson. She is a divorce lawyer. I have an appointment with her tomorrow morning." "Lauren, please wait. Can we try counseling? Can we?" "No." Lauren's voice was steady and strong. "I spent the last 5 years thinking I had a good marriage. I thought you loved me. I thought you chose me. But you did not. You chose the easy path. You chose the path your parents wanted. I was just there. I was convenient. I was acceptable." "That is not true," Trent said, but his voice was weak. "Yes, it is." Lauren walked to the counter and leaned against it. "The problem is not that you made a mistake 6 years ago, Trent. The problem is that you never truly wanted me. You settled for me, and I deserve better than that. I deserve to be someone's first choice, not their safe choice." "I care about you," Trent said. "I care about Marcus and Maya. We can make this work." Lauren shook her head. "No, we cannot, because every time you look at me, you will be thinking about her. Every time you see Marcus and Maya, you will think about the 3 children you did not know you had. I cannot live like that. I will not live like that." "What about the kids?" Trent asked. "What do we tell them?" "We tell them the truth," Lauren said, "in a way they can understand. We tell them that sometimes adults make mistakes. We tell them that we love them, but we cannot be married anymore." Trent sat down in the chair. He put his head in his hands. "I am sorry. I am so sorry." "I know you are," Lauren said. Her voice was softer now, but still firm. "But sorry does not fix this. Sorry does not change the fact that our marriage was built on something false. I need you to move out. You can stay in the guest room tonight, but I want you to find an apartment. Soon." She walked out of the kitchen. Trent heard her footsteps on the stairs. He heard the bedroom door close. He sat alone at the table as the sun went down outside. His phone sat in front of him. No messages, no calls. The only person he wanted to talk to would not even read his words. 1 week passed. Trent moved through each day feeling numb. He went to work. He came home to the guest room. Lauren barely spoke to him. Marcus and Maya asked why Daddy was sleeping in the other room. Lauren told them Daddy was not feeling well. On Thursday evening, Trent's phone rang. He looked at the screen. Catherine Collins, his mother. He did not want to answer, but he knew she would keep calling. "Hello, Mom." "Trent, we need to have a family meeting." Her voice was sharp and cold. "This Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, at the house. Do not be late." "I do not think—" "This is not a request. She hung up. Trent sat on the guest room bed, staring at his phone. He knew what this meeting would be about. His parents had heard the gossip. They always heard everything. Saturday arrived cold and gray. Trent drove to Beacon Hill. The mansion sat on a quiet street lined with old trees. The house was over 100 years old. Red brick, black shutters. A shiny black door with a gold handle. Trent had grown up in this house. He used to think it was beautiful. Now, it just felt cold. He rang the doorbell. His father, Richard Collins, opened the door. Richard was 65 years old, with gray hair and cold blue eyes. He wore expensive slacks and a sweater. He did not smile. "You are late," Richard said. Trent looked at his watch. It was 2:03. "Sorry." He walked inside. The floor was white marble. A crystal chandelier hung from the ceiling. Oil paintings of dead relatives covered the walls. Trent's great-grandfather. His great-great-grandfather. Men who built banks and bought land and made fortunes. Richard led him to the study. The room had dark wood walls and leather furniture. Catherine sat in a chair near the fireplace. She was 62 years old, with blonde hair styled perfectly. She wore a cream-colored dress and pearls. She looked at Trent the way someone looks at a stain on the carpet. "Sit down," she said. Trent's older brother, Preston, stood near the window. Preston was 38 years old, tall, confident. He worked at the family bank. He wore a suit even on Saturday. Preston smirked when he saw Trent. "Finally decided to show up," Preston said. Trent sat on the couch. He felt like he was on trial. Richard sat in the chair across from him. Catherine stayed near the fireplace. Preston stayed standing. "People are talking," Catherine said. "Everyone at the country club is asking questions. Everyone at the yacht club. Everyone we know." "What are they asking?" Trent said quietly. "They are asking about those 3 children at Riverside Academy," Richard said. His voice was hard. "They are asking why they look exactly like Marcus and Maya. They are asking if they are yours." Trent did not answer. "Are they?" Catherine demanded. "Are those children yours?" "Yes." The word sat heavy in the air. Preston laughed. It was a mean laugh. "I knew it," Preston said. "I knew you would mess this up somehow." "Preston, be quiet," Richard said. Then he looked at Trent. "This is a disaster for the family reputation. Do you understand that? A disaster?" "I did not know about them," Trent said. "I did not know Simone was pregnant." "Simone Washington," Catherine said the name like it tasted bad. "That woman. I told you 6 years ago she was not right for this family. I told you she would cause problems." "She did not cause any problems," Trent said. "I caused the problems. I left her. I blocked her number. This is my fault." "Well, now you need to fix it," Richard said. "How?" Trent asked. Preston walked away from the window. He stood in the middle of the room. "It is simple. Pay her to leave." "What?" "Pay her to move," Preston said slowly, like he was talking to a child. "Offer her money to take those 3 kids and move to another state. California, Texas, anywhere far from here." "Problem solved," Catherine nodded. "Preston is right. We can give her enough money that she would never have to work again. She can start over somewhere else." Trent felt sick. "No, no?" Richard's voice rose. "What do you mean, no?" "I mean, I am not going to pay my children to disappear," Trent said. "Jordan, Elijah, and Zara are my children. They exist. I am not going to pretend they do not." "You already have 2 children," Catherine said. "Marcus and Maya. You do not need 3 more children from some woman with no family name, no background, no—" "Stop!" Trent stood up. His hands were shaking, but his voice was steady. "Just stop." Richard stood up too. "Do not raise your voice in this house." "I will raise my voice if I want to," Trent said. "I have been listening to you my entire life. I did everything you wanted. I went to the schools you chose. I worked at the jobs you approved. I married the woman you picked. And where did it get me? I am about to lose my wife. I have 3 children who do not even know I exist. I destroyed the woman I loved because I was too weak to stand up to you." "You were weak then, and you are being weak now," Preston said. "No." Trent looked at his brother. "I was weak when I listened to you, all of you. You do not care about me. You do not care about my happiness. You only care about control. You only care about what other people think." Catherine stood up. Her face was red. "If you do not fix this situation, we will cut you off from the family money. We will remove you from the will. We will—" "Do it!" Trent's voice was loud now. "Cut me off. Remove me from the will. I do not want your money anymore." Richard stepped forward. "You are being selfish and stupid. Think about what you are saying." "I have been thinking," Trent said. "For the first time in my life, I am actually thinking. And I am done. I am selling my shares in the family business. I am cutting all financial ties with you. I am going to live on my own money, from my own work." "You will regret this," Richard said. "No," Trent said. "I regret the last 6 years. I regret listening to you when you told me Simone was not good enough. I regret breaking up with her. I regret being a coward. But I am done regretting. I am done letting you control my life." Preston walked up to him. "You are being dramatic. You will come crawling back in a month when you realize how expensive life is without family money." Trent looked his brother in the eye. "I would rather be poor and honest than rich and miserable." He turned and walked toward the door. Catherine called after him, "If you walk out that door, you are no longer part of this family." Trent stopped. He turned around and looked at his parents, his brother, the cold study with the dark wood walls, the mansion filled with furniture and paintings and money. "I was never part of this family," he said quietly. "I was just someone you controlled." He walked out. He crossed the marble floor. He opened the black door and stepped outside. The cold air hit his face. He walked to his car and got inside. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding. But for the first time in months, he felt something other than guilt and shame. He felt free. Meanwhile, across the city at Simone's brownstone, her mother, Angela Washington, was visiting. Angela sat at the kitchen table drinking tea. She was 60 years old, with gray hair and warm brown eyes. She still wore her nurse's scrubs from her shift at Boston Medical Center. "You look tired, baby," Angela said. Simone poured herself coffee. "I am fine, Mama." "No, you are not." Angela watched her daughter carefully. "I heard what happened at the school. Keisha told me. She said Trent was there." Simone sat down at the table. "I do not want to talk about him." "You are going to have to talk about him eventually," Angela said. "Those children upstairs have a father. They deserve to know him." "He had 6 years to find us," Simone said. Her voice was hard. "He chose not to." "He did not know," Angela said gently. "You told me yourself. He blocked your number before you could tell him you were pregnant." "That is not my fault." "I am not saying it is your fault. I am saying those babies deserve to know their daddy." Simone put her coffee cup down hard on the table. "He abandoned me. He left me with nothing. I had to figure everything out alone. I worked 3 jobs while I was pregnant. I lived in a tiny apartment. I started my business while the triplets slept in a playpen next to my desk. He was not there for any of it. Why should I let him in now?" Angela reached across the table and took Simone's hand. "Because you are angry at him, not at the children. And if you keep him away, you are punishing them, not him." Simone pulled her hand away. She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the street was quiet. A few people walked past with dogs and coffee cups. "I cannot do this, Mama." "Why not?" Simone did not answer. That evening, after Angela left, Keisha came over. She brought Chinese food and a bottle of wine. They sat on the couch in Simone's living room. The triplets were already asleep upstairs. "Your mama called me," Keisha said. "She is worried about you." "Everyone is worried about me," Simone said, "but I am fine." "No, you are not." Keisha opened the wine and poured 2 glasses. "Talk to me. What is really going on?" Simone took a long sip of wine. "I do not know what to do." "About Trent?" "About everything. The children keep asking questions. Jordan asked me yesterday why they do not have a dad. Zara asked if it was her fault. How do I answer that?" "You tell them the truth," Keisha said. "What truth? That their father loved me and then left me because his parents did not approve? That he chose money over us? That their father made a mistake," Keisha said, "and now he wants to fix it." Simone shook her head. "You do not know that he wants to fix it. He came to your office," Keisha said. "He sent you emails. He is trying." "Trying is not enough." Keisha set down her wine glass. She turned to face Simone directly. "What are you really afraid of?" Simone stared at her wine. For a long moment, she did not speak. When she finally answered, her voice was barely a whisper. "I am afraid that if I let him in, he will leave again. And this time, my children will be the ones who get hurt." Keisha stayed with Simone until late that night. They finished the wine and the Chinese food. When Keisha left, Simone sat alone in her living room. She thought about what her friend said. She thought about her children's questions. She thought about Trent's face in that classroom. She did not sleep well. The next 2 months passed slowly. October turned into November. The leaves fell from the trees. The air got colder. Trent sold his shares in the family business. He found a small apartment in Somerville. It had 1 bedroom, a tiny kitchen, and a living room with old carpet. It was nothing like the Cambridge house, but it was his. Lauren moved out of the Cambridge house too. She took Marcus and Maya to her parents' house in Newton. The house was large and comfortable. Her mother helped with the children. Her father did not ask questions. The divorce papers were filed. Lauren's lawyer was tough and fair. Trent saw Marcus and Maya on weekends. He picked them up on Saturday mornings and brought them back on Sunday evenings. The twins asked why Mommy and Daddy did not live together anymore. Lauren told them that sometimes adults cannot stay married, but they both still loved their children very much. At Riverside Academy, the 5 children were inseparable. Every single day at lunch, they sat together. During recess, they played together. During art class, they worked together. When there was a fire drill, they held hands in line. Other children tried to join their group, but the 5 always came back to each other. Mrs. Patterson had never seen anything like it. She mentioned it to Mr. Harrison, the school director. He just nodded and said some children had special connections. On the 2nd Saturday in November, Riverside Academy held its fall gala. The event was at the Boston Harbor Hotel. It was the biggest fundraiser of the year. All the wealthy families attended. The money raised would pay for new computers, new books, and building repairs. Trent got dressed in his small apartment. He put on a black suit and a white shirt. He looked at himself in the mirror. He had lost weight. His face looked thinner. His eyes looked tired. But he had to go. Marcus and Maya were performing with their class. He drove to the hotel. The sun was setting over the water. The Boston Harbor Hotel was tall and elegant. The lobby had marble floors and chandeliers. People in expensive clothes walked through the front doors. Trent walked inside. He felt out of place. A woman at a table checked his name on a list and gave him a name tag. He walked into the ballroom. The room was huge with floor-to-ceiling windows. Outside, boats moved across the harbor. The water was dark blue and gray. Inside, round tables were covered with white tablecloths. Candles and flowers sat in the middle of each table. A small stage stood at the front of the room. Trent saw his parents. Catherine and Richard sat at a table near the front with Preston and his wife. Catherine saw Trent and turned her head away. Preston smirked. Richard pretended Trent did not exist. Trent found his assigned seat. It was near the back of the room. He sat down alone. Other people at his table introduced themselves. He shook their hands but forgot their names immediately. Lauren arrived 20 minutes later. She wore a navy blue dress, and her hair was pulled back in a bun. She looked elegant and sad. Her parents walked next to her. They sat at a table on the other side of the room. Lauren saw Trent. She did not wave. She just nodded once. Then Simone arrived. The room seemed to stop. She wore a gold dress that shimmered under the chandelier lights. Her hair was down in long braids that reached her waist. She wore gold earrings and gold heels. She looked powerful and beautiful. Photographers near the entrance took her picture. Mr. Harrison rushed over to greet her. He shook her hand and introduced her to the board members. People stood up to talk to her. Everyone wanted to meet the woman who donated $2 million. Simone smiled and spoke confidently. She talked about education and opportunity. She talked about giving children the resources they needed to succeed. Trent watched from his table. He could not look away. Simone did not look at him. Not once. She knew he was there, but she did not look. Dinner was served. Salad, chicken, vegetables, dessert. Trent barely ate. He pushed food around his plate. He watched Simone at her table near the front. She laughed with the people around her. She looked comfortable and confident. After dinner, the lights in the ballroom dimmed. Mr. Harrison walked onto the stage. He spoke into a microphone. "Thank you all for coming tonight. Your generosity makes Riverside Academy the best school in Massachusetts. And now, we have a very special performance from our kindergarten class." The room clapped. Trent sat up straighter. Lauren leaned forward in her seat. 5 children walked onto the stage. They wore matching outfits, white shirts and black pants. Jordan, Elijah, Zara, Marcus, and Maya stood in a line holding hands. Mrs. Patterson sat at a piano behind them. The children looked nervous. Maya kept looking at the audience. Jordan stood up very straight. Zara held Marcus's hand tight. Mrs. Patterson started playing. The children began to sing. Their voices were small but clear. The song was about family. The lyrics talked about love and belonging and holding hands. They sang about being together and helping each other and never being alone. The 5 children held hands the entire time they sang. Their voices blended together. They looked at each other and smiled. When they reached the last line, they all lifted their hands up together. The song ended. The room clapped. But the applause was strange, quiet, uncomfortable. People were whispering to each other. Everyone in the ballroom could see that the 5 children looked exactly the same. Identical faces, identical eyes, identical smiles. The whispers got louder. People pointed. Someone at a nearby table said, "Those children must be related." Another person said, "Are they all from the same family?" Catherine Collins's face turned red. She whispered something to Richard. Preston stared at the stage with his arms crossed. The children walked off the stage. Mrs. Patterson followed them. The lights came back up. Mr. Harrison started to speak again, but then something happened. Trent stood up. He did not plan it. He did not think about it. He just stood up. His legs moved on their own. He walked between the tables toward the stage. People watched him. Mr. Harrison stopped talking and looked confused. "Excuse me, sir. Can I help you with something?" Mr. Harrison asked. Trent walked up the stairs onto the stage. His heart was pounding. His hands were shaking. He reached for the microphone. Mr. Harrison looked at Mr. Preston at the board member table. No one knew what to do. Trent took the microphone. He looked out at 300 people in expensive clothes. He saw his parents. He saw Lauren. He saw Simone. Her face had gone completely still. She was not moving. She was barely breathing. "I need to say something," Trent said into the microphone. His voice cracked. "My name is Trent Collins. My children, Marcus and Maya, just performed with 3 other children, Jordan, Elijah, and Zara Washington." The room was silent. Catherine started to stand up. Richard grabbed her arm. "6 years ago," Trent continued, "I was in love with Simone Washington. We dated for 3 years. She was smart and kind and creative, but my parents said she was not good enough for our family. They said she did not have the right background. They said she would embarrass us. They threatened to cut me off from the family money." People gasped. Catherine's face turned white. Preston stood up. "Sit down, Trent. Right now." Trent ignored him. "I broke up with Simone over the phone. I blocked her number because I could not face my own guilt. I did not know she was pregnant. I did not know about Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. I found out 2 months ago when I saw them at school." Lauren started crying quietly at her table. Her mother put an arm around her. "Simone raised 3 children alone," Trent said. His voice was shaking, but he kept talking. "She worked 3 jobs. She started a company in a basement apartment. She built an empire while I lived off my family's name. I was a coward. I chose money and comfort over love. I chose my parents' approval over my own happiness." Catherine stood up. She grabbed her purse. "We are leaving." "No," Richard said. "Sit down. Everyone is watching." But Catherine did not sit down. She walked out of the ballroom. Her heels clicked on the marble floor. Richard followed her. Trent watched them leave. Then he looked at Simone. She was still sitting at her table. Her face showed nothing. No anger. No sadness. Nothing. "Simone," Trent said into the microphone, "I am sorry. I am sorry in front of all these people. I cannot undo what I did. I cannot get back the 6 years I missed. I cannot erase the pain I caused you. But I want to be a father to Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. If you will let me, please." The ballroom was completely silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Even the waiters stood still. Then Simone stood up. Every eye in the ballroom turned to watch her. Simone's gold dress caught the light with every step. Her heels clicked on the floor. The room was so quiet that people could hear their own breathing. She walked slowly between the tables. Her face showed no emotion. Trent was still standing at the microphone. His face was wet with tears. He watched her approach the stage. He did not know what she was going to say. He did not know if she would yell at him or walk past him. His hands were shaking. Simone climbed the stairs. She walked across the stage. She stopped in front of Trent. She held out her hand. Trent looked at her hand for a second, then gave her the microphone. She did not look at him. She turned to face the crowd. 300 people stared at her. Wealthy men in tuxedos. Wealthy women in expensive gowns. People who had never struggled. People who had never been told they were not good enough. Simone looked at them all. "Trent is right," she said. Her voice was calm and strong. He was a coward. Someone gasped. Preston Collins crossed his arms. Lauren wiped tears from her face. 6 years ago, Simone continued, I was 27 years old. I worked as a graphic designer. I was in love with Trent Collins. We dated for 3 years. I thought we would get married. I thought we would build a life together. Then one day, he called me on the phone. He said it was not working. He did not give me a real reason. He just said it was over. 2 days later, he blocked my number. People in the audience whispered to each other. A woman at a front table shook her head. 2 months after that phone call, Simone said, I found out I was pregnant. I tried to call Trent. I tried to tell him, but his number was blocked. I sent him emails. They bounced back. I went to his office building. Security would not let me in, so I stopped trying. Trent closed his eyes. Tears ran down his face. I was alone, Simone said. My mother worked full-time as a nurse. My sister was in college. I had no money saved. I lived in a basement apartment in Malden. The rent was $800 a month and I could barely afford it. I worked 3 jobs. I designed logos for small businesses. I worked at a coffee shop. I walked dogs on weekends. The room was completely silent. Even the waiters had stopped moving. 9 months later, Simone continued, I gave birth to triplets in Boston City Hospital. 3 babies, Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. I held them in my arms and I cried. Not because I was sad, because I was scared. I did not know how I was going to feed them. I did not know how I was going to pay for diapers and formula and clothes, but I figured it out. Because I had no choice. Lauren's mother handed Lauren a tissue. Lauren's father looked down at the table. When the triplets were 2 years old, Simone said, I started Crown Strategies in that same basement apartment. I designed websites while my children slept in a playpen next to my desk. I sent out proposals to companies. Most of them said no, but one said yes. Then another, then another. I worked every single night after my children went to bed. I did not sleep. I barely ate. But I built something. She paused. She looked directly at Catherine Collins' empty chair. Then at Preston. I did not have family money, Simone said. I did not have connections. I did not have anyone opening doors for me. I had nothing but myself. And that was enough. Now I have offices in 5 cities. I have employees. I have clients who trust me. I proved that I belong anywhere I choose to be. People started nodding. A man at a table near the back started clapping, but then stopped when no one else joined. So when Trent says he is sorry, Simone said, I want everyone here to understand something. I do not need his apology to feel whole. I do not need his money. I do not need his family name. I already won. I survived. I succeeded. I raised 3 beautiful, healthy, smart children. I did that. Not him. Me. She turned and looked at Trent for the first time. He was crying openly now. His shoulders were shaking. But, Simone said. She turned back to the audience. Our children deserve to know their father, not for his sake, for theirs. The room seemed to hold its breath. Jordan asks me why he does not have a dad, Simone said. Zara asks if it is her fault. Elijah sees other children with their fathers and asks when his will come. I have told them their father was not ready. I protected Trent even when he did not deserve it. But they are 5 years old now. They are old enough to ask questions. And they deserve answers. She looked at Trent again. You want to be their father? Then you will have to earn it. You will have to show up, not once, not for a week, not until it gets hard. You will have to show up every single day. You will have to prove that you will not leave them the way you left me. Trent nodded. I will. I promise. I do not want your promises, Simone said. "I want your actions." She handed the microphone back to Trent. Then she walked off the stage. She walked down the stairs. She walked back to her table. She sat down. She picked up her water glass and took a sip. Her hands were steady. Her face was calm. For 5 seconds, the room stayed silent. Then Lauren Bennett Collins stood up. She was crying, but she was also smiling. She started clapping. Her hands came together again and again. The sound echoed in the quiet ballroom. Then another person stood up and clapped. Then another. Soon, people all over the room were standing. They clapped and clapped. They were not clapping for Trent. They were clapping for Simone, for her strength, for her honesty, for her courage. Preston Collins did not stand. He grabbed his wife's hand and walked out of the ballroom. His wife stumbled, trying to keep up with him. A few other people stayed seated, but most of the room was standing and applauding. Simone did not smile. She just sat at her table and waited for the clapping to stop. Mr. Harrison walked back onto the stage. He took the microphone from Trent and thanked everyone for coming. He announced that the gala had raised over $500,000. People started gathering their coats and purses. The event was over. Trent walked off the stage. He went straight to the men's room. He locked himself in a stall and cried. He cried for 10 minutes. When he finally came out, he washed his face with cold water. He looked at himself in the mirror. His eyes were red and swollen. His face was blotchy. He looked terrible. He walked back into the lobby. People were leaving the hotel. Some stared at him as they walked past. Others whispered. One older woman shook her head at him. A younger man nodded and said, "That took guts." Trent saw Simone near the coat check. She was putting on a long black coat. He walked toward her. She saw him coming. Her face did not change. "Simone," he said, "thank you. Thank you for—" "I am not doing this for you," she said. Her voice was cold. "I am doing this for Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. They deserve to know their father. But you need to understand something. This is not about you and me. There is no you and me. There will never be a you and me again. This is only about the children." "I understand," Trent said. "I will contact you when I am ready," Simone said. "Until then, do not come to my office. Do not come to my house. Do not send me flowers or letters or gifts. When I am ready, I will reach out. Do you understand?" "Yes." "Good." She turned and walked toward the hotel exit. Trent watched her leave. He stood in the lobby alone. People walked around him. He felt like he was invisible. Lauren appeared next to him. She wore her coat and held her purse. Her parents stood a few feet away, waiting for her. "That was brave," Lauren said. "What you did on stage. It was stupid, but it was brave." "I had to do something," Trent said. "I know." Lauren looked at him. Really looked at him. "This does not change anything between us. Our marriage is still over. But I respect what you are trying to do. Marcus and Maya should meet their siblings. Properly. Not just at school." "Thank you," Trent said. "I am not doing it for you," Lauren said. "I am doing it for them. The children did not ask for any of this. They deserve to know each other." She walked away. Her parents followed her out the door. Trent stood in the lobby for another 10 minutes. Finally, he walked out into the cold November night. He got in his car and drove back to his small apartment in Somerville. Across the city, Keisha Moore pulled up in front of the Boston Harbor Hotel. Simone got into the passenger seat. She took off her heels and closed her eyes. "How are you?" Keisha asked. "Tired." "That was incredible. What you said up there. Everyone is going to be talking about it." "I do not care what people say." Keisha drove through the streets of Boston. The city lights reflected on the dark water of the harbor. Simone looked out the window. She did not speak. "Are you really going to let him see the kids?" Keisha asked. "Yes." "Are you sure?" "No." Simone turned to look at her friend. "I am not sure about anything. I spent 6 years building walls around my heart. I spent 6 years protecting myself and my children. And now I am about to let him in, the man who destroyed me, the man who left me with nothing. I am about to let him meet my children, and I am terrified." "Why are you doing it then?" Simone looked back out the window. "Because Zara draws pictures of families with a mom and a dad. Because Jordan asks why other kids have fathers and he does not. Because Elijah sees Marcus and Maya with Trent on weekends and asks when he will get to see his dad. I am doing this for them. Only for them." Keisha reached over and squeezed Simone's hand. "What if he leaves again?" Simone whispered. "What if he gets scared, or his family pressures him, or he decides it is too hard? I can handle him breaking my heart. I already survived that. But if he breaks my children's hearts, I will never forgive him. And I will never forgive myself for letting him in." Keisha dropped Simone off at her brownstone. The lights were on inside. Angela was babysitting the triplets. Simone walked up the steps slowly. She felt exhausted. Not from the gala, from the decision she had just made. She was going to let Trent meet their children. 2 weeks passed. The story of what happened at the fall gala spread through Boston. Some people thought Trent was brave for apologizing publicly. Others thought he was foolish. Some people admired Simone. Others whispered that she should have kept the situation private. Simone did not care what people said. She went to work. She attended meetings. She dropped the triplets off at school and picked them up. She read them stories before bed. She lived her normal life. But every night, she thought about the text message she needed to send. On a Tuesday evening, after the triplets fell asleep, Simone sat on her couch with her phone in her hand. She opened her messages, and she found Trent's number. Her thumb hovered over the keyboard. She took a deep breath and typed, "Saturday at 10 in the morning, Boston Common, the playground near the frog pond. Do not be late." She pressed send before she could change her mind. 3 minutes later, her phone buzzed. Trent had replied, "I will be there, thank you." Simone did not respond. She turned off her phone and went to bed. Trent read the message 20 times that night, then 30 times the next day, then 40 times by Thursday. He could not believe it was happening. He was going to meet his children. On Saturday morning, he woke up at 6 o'clock. The sun was not up yet. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling of his small Somerville apartment. At 7 o'clock, he got up and took a shower. He stood under the hot water for a long time. He got dressed, jeans and a sweater. Then he changed, khaki pants and a button-down shirt. Then he changed again, jeans and a different sweater. He looked at himself in the mirror. He looked nervous and tired. At 8:30, he drove to a bookstore in Cambridge. He bought 3 coloring books. One had animals. One had cars and trucks. One had flowers and butterflies. He also bought a big box of crayons with 64 colors. Then he drove to a bakery on Beacon Street. He bought a box of donuts. Chocolate donuts. Glazed donuts. Donuts with pink frosting and sprinkles. The woman behind the counter put them in a white box and tied it with string. Trent drove to Boston Common. He parked on Charles Street. He walked into the park carrying the coloring books, the crayons, and the box of donuts. It was 9:30 in the morning. He was 30 minutes early. The weather was cold. Most of the leaves had fallen from the trees. The ground was covered with brown and orange leaves. A few people jogged past. A woman walked her dog. The city was quiet. Trent found the playground near the frog pond. It had swings and a slide and a jungle gym. A few families were there with small children. Trent sat on a bench and waited. He put the coloring books and donuts next to him. He checked his watch every 2 minutes. At 9:55, he saw them. Simone was walking across the park, holding hands with 3 children. Jordan was on her left. Zara was on her right. Elijah walked between them. They all wore winter jackets and hats. Their breath made small clouds in the cold air. Trent stood up. His legs felt weak. His heart was pounding. They got closer. 20 feet away. Then 10 feet. Then 5. Simone stopped in front of the bench. The 3 children looked up at Trent. Their faces were curious and nervous. Trent looked down at them. They had his eyes, his nose, his smile. "This is Trent," Simone said to the children. Her voice was calm and steady. "He is your father." Jordan stared at Trent. Elijah tilted his head. Zara moved closer to Simone and held her hand tighter. Trent knelt down so he was at their eye level. His voice shook when he spoke. "Hi, it is nice to meet you." Nobody said anything for a moment. Then Elijah pointed at the white box. "What is in there?" "Donuts," Trent said. "I brought donuts. Are you hungry?" "Yes," Elijah said. "Do you have chocolate ones?" "I do." Elijah smiled a little. Zara did not move. She stayed pressed against Simone's leg. Jordan looked at Trent carefully. His face was serious. "Why were you not there before?" Jordan asked. Trent took a deep breath. He knew this question would come. He knew he had to tell the truth. He looked at Jordan's serious face and spoke slowly. "A long time ago, I made a very bad choice. I was dating your mom. We loved each other. But my family said she was not good enough for us. They said I should leave her. And I did. I left her because I was scared. I was scared my family would be mad at me. I was scared they would take away my money. So I called your mom on the phone and said goodbye, then I blocked her number. I did not know she was pregnant. I did not know about you and Elijah and Zara. I found out 2 months ago when I saw you at school." Jordan thought about this. "So you did not know we existed?" "No, but I should have called your mom back. I should have let her talk to me. I made a mistake. A really big mistake. And I am sorry." "Why should we believe you?" Jordan asked. Trent felt his chest tighten. This 5-year-old child was asking the exact right question. "You should not believe me yet. I have to show you. I have to prove it. That is why I am here. I want to spend time with you. I want to get to know you, if you will let me." Zara finally spoke. Her voice was very small. "Are you going to leave again?" Trent looked at her. She had tears in her eyes. He felt his own eyes fill with tears. "No. I promise I will never leave again." "How do we know?" Zara asked. "You do not know yet," Trent said, "but I will show you. I will come every week. I will be here every time your mom says I can. I will not miss it, not ever." Zara looked at Simone. Simone nodded. "It is okay, baby. You can talk to him." Zara turned back to Trent. "Can I have a donut?" "Yes." Trent opened the white box. Inside were 12 donuts. Zara looked at them carefully. She pointed to one with pink frosting and rainbow sprinkles. "That one." Trent handed it to her. She took it with both hands. Elijah jumped up and down. "I want the chocolate one." Trent gave him a chocolate donut. Jordan took a glazed one without saying anything. They all sat on the bench. Simone sat on one end. The 3 children sat in the middle. Trent sat on the other end. They ate their donuts. Nobody talked. It was awkward and strange. but it was something. After a few minutes, Trent pulled out the coloring books. "I brought these for you. I did not know what you liked, so I got 3 different ones." Elijah grabbed the one with cars and trucks. "I love cars." Zara took the one with flowers and butterflies. Jordan took the one with animals. Trent opened the box of crayons. The children started coloring right there on the bench. They leaned over their books and picked different colors. Simone watched, but did not speak. Trent tried to look at what they were drawing. Elijah was coloring a red race car. Zara was making a purple butterfly. Jordan was coloring a lion orange and yellow. "That is a cool lion," Trent said to Jordan. Jordan did not look up. "Thanks. Do you like animals?" "Yes. I want to be a scientist when I grow up. I want to study animals." "That is amazing," Trent said. "What kind of animals?" "All kinds, but especially big cats, lions and tigers." Trent smiled. "I went to the zoo once and saw a lion. It was sleeping under a tree." Jordan looked up. "Lions sleep a lot, like 16 hours a day." "Wow, I did not know that. Most people do not." Jordan went back to coloring. Elijah held up his picture. "Look at my car." "It is very fast-looking," Trent said. "I am going to be a soccer player when I grow up," Elijah said. "I run really fast." "I bet you do." Zara was quiet. She colored her butterfly carefully. She added green to the wings, then blue, then yellow. After a while, she looked at Trent. "Do you like art?" she asked. "I do," Trent said. "I am an architect. That means I design buildings. I draw pictures of them before they get built." "That is kind of like art," Zara said. "It is." "Can you draw?" "A little. Not as good as you, probably." Zara thought about this. Then she tore out a page from her coloring book. It was blank on the back. She handed it to Trent with a crayon. "Draw something." Trent took the paper and the crayon. He thought for a moment. Then he drew a simple house. It had a door and windows and a roof. He added a tree next to it. He handed it back to Zara. She looked at it. "That is good, but the tree needs more leaves." She took the paper back and added more leaves to the tree. Then she gave it back to Trent. "Now it is better." "You are right," Trent said. "Thank you." They sat on the bench for 30 minutes. The children colored. Trent watched. Simone sat quietly at the end of the bench, checking her phone occasionally. The morning sun came out from behind the clouds. The playground got busier. More families arrived. Finally, Simone stood up. "Okay, it is time to go." "Already?" Elijah asked. "Yes, baby. We have to go to Grandma's house for lunch." The children closed their coloring books. They gave them to Simone to carry. Trent stood up too. He did not want them to leave. He wanted more time, but he knew he could not ask for it. Not yet. "Can we take our donuts?" Elijah asked. "You already ate your donuts," Simone said. "Oh, right." Elijah looked sad. Trent picked up the white box. There were still 6 donuts inside. "You can take these home for later." "Really?" Elijah's face lit up. "Really?" Simone took the box. "What do you say?" "Thank you," all 3 children said at once. They started to walk away. Zara stopped. She turned around and walked back to Trent. She was holding half of her pink frosted donut. She had been saving it. She broke off a small piece and handed it to him. "You can have some," she said. Trent took the piece of donut. It was small and covered in pink frosting and sprinkles. His eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, Zara." She nodded. Then she ran back to her mom. Simone took the children's hands, and they walked across Boston Common. Trent watched them until they disappeared into the trees. He sat back down on the bench. He looked at the small piece of donut in his hand. He did not eat it. He just held it. This tiny gesture from his daughter meant more than anything else in the world. He sat there on the bench for a long time. Other families came and went. Children played on the swings. Parents pushed strollers. The piece of donut with pink frosting sat in his hand. He finally wrapped it carefully in a napkin and put it in his pocket. December arrived. The weather got colder. Snow fell for the first time. The city turned white and quiet. Trent continued to meet with Jordan, Elijah, and Zara once a week. Every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Always at Boston Common. Always with Simone watching nearby. The children were slowly warming up to him. Elijah now ran to hug Trent when he arrived. He talked non-stop about soccer and his friends at school and what he ate for breakfast. Jordan asked Trent questions about his job. He wanted to know how buildings were made. He wanted to know if Trent had ever designed a zoo. Zara drew pictures for Trent every week. She brought them in a folder and showed him each one carefully. But Zara still did not call him Dad. Neither did Jordan or Elijah. They called him Trent. Just Trent. And that was okay. He knew he had to earn that title. Across the city in Newton, Lauren was struggling. She lived with Marcus and Maya at her parents' house. The house was large and comfortable. Her mother, Patricia Bennett, cooked dinner every night. Her father, Robert Bennett, helped the twins with puzzles in the evening. But Lauren felt lost. Every day, Marcus and Maya came home from Riverside Academy talking about their friends. Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. They talked about what they played at recess. They talked about what they ate for lunch. They talked about the drawings they made in art class. One evening at dinner, Maya looked up from her plate of chicken and rice. "Mom, can Jordan and Elijah and Zara come to our house to play?" Lauren put down her fork. "Maybe someday, honey." "When?" Marcus asked. "They are our best friends." "I know, sweetie." "Zara asked me today if she could come over," Maya said. "She wants to see my room. Can she?" Lauren looked at her mother. Patricia gave her a small nod. Lauren took a deep breath. "We will see." But Marcus was not satisfied with that answer. "Dad sees them every weekend. Why can we not see them too?" "Because it is complicated," Lauren said. "What does complicated mean?" Maya asked. "It means there are adult problems that you do not understand yet." Marcus crossed his arms. "Are they our brother and sisters?" The question hung in the air. Patricia and Robert stopped eating. They looked at Lauren. Lauren felt her chest tighten. She knew this conversation was coming. She just did not know it would be tonight. "Yes," Lauren said quietly. "They are." "Then why can we not see them outside of school?" Marcus asked. "We see you and we see Dad. Why can we not see them?" Lauren did not have a good answer. "Because I am still figuring things out." That night, after the twins went to bed, Lauren sat in her childhood bedroom. The room still had her old furniture. The bed she slept in as a teenager. The desk where she did her homework. She felt like she had gone backward in life. Her mother knocked on the door. "Can I come in?" "Yes." Patricia sat on the edge of the bed. She was 60 years old, with gray hair and kind eyes. "Do you want to talk about it?" "There is nothing to talk about," Lauren said. "My marriage is over. My husband has 3 other children. I am living with my parents at 32 years old. What else is there to say?" "You could say how you feel." Lauren looked at her mother. Tears filled her eyes. "I feel like I was never enough. I thought Trent loved me. I thought we had a good marriage. But it was all fake. He was thinking about her the whole time." "You do not know that," Patricia said gently. "Yes, I do. You saw his face at the school. You saw how he looked at her. He never looked at me that way. Not once." Patricia took Lauren's hand. What those children asked tonight was fair. They want to know their siblings, and I think you know that is the right thing." "I know," Lauren whispered, "but I am scared." "Scared of what?" "Scared that Marcus and Maya will love her more than me. Scared that they will see how successful and strong she is and think I am boring. Scared that I am not enough for my own children." Patricia squeezed Lauren's hand. "You have been their mother for 5 years. You were there for every scraped knee, every bedtime story, every nightmare. No one can replace that. No one." Lauren cried. Her mother held her. After a while, Patricia left, and Lauren lay down in bed. She could not sleep. She thought about what her mother said. She thought about Marcus and Maya's questions. The next morning, she called her therapist. Dr. Ellen Richards had an office in Brookline. Lauren had been seeing her for 6 weeks. The office was small and warm. It had 2 comfortable chairs, a bookshelf, and a window that looked out at the street. Lauren sat in one of the chairs. Dr. Richards sat across from her. She was 50 years old with short brown hair and glasses. She wore a gray sweater and black pants. "How have you been this week?" Dr. Richards asked. "The twins asked if they could see Jordan, Elijah, and Zara outside of school," Lauren said. "What did you say?" "I said maybe, but I know I need to say yes." "Why have you not said yes yet?" "Doctor?" Richards asked. Lauren looked down at her hands. "Because I am afraid." "Afraid of what?" "Afraid that the twins will love Simone more than me. Afraid that I am not enough." "Where does that fear come from?" Lauren thought about it. "Trent never chose me. He chose me because I was safe, because his parents approved of me. I was never his first choice. What if I am not Marcus and Maya's first choice either?" Dr. Richards leaned forward. "Lauren, you have been a wonderful mother to Marcus and Maya for 5 years. You read to them every night. You take them to school. You make their lunches. You kiss their scraped knees. You are there. That is what matters. But what if it is not enough? Enough for what? Enough for whom?" Lauren did not answer. "You are measuring yourself against Simone," Dr. Richards said gently. "But you are not in competition with her. She is their biological mother. You are Marcus and Maya's mother. Those are 2 different relationships. One does not take away from the other." "But what if the kids start comparing us?" "Kids do not think that way," Dr. Richards said. "They just want love. They want the people in their lives to care about them. It does not matter if someone is richer or more successful. It matters who shows up." Lauren felt tears on her face. "I just do not want to lose them." "You are not going to lose them. But you might push them away if you keep them from their siblings. They will resent you for it when they are older." Lauren knew Dr. Richards was right. She had known it all along. She was just too scared to admit it. That afternoon, Lauren called Trent. He answered on the second ring. "Hello?" "It is me," Lauren said. "Hi, is everything okay?" "Yes, I need to talk to you about something. Marcus and Maya should meet the triplets properly, not just at school, as siblings." Trent was quiet for a moment. "Are you sure?" "Yes. They ask about them every single day. They want to play with them. They want to have them over. I cannot keep saying no." "Thank you," Trent said. His voice was full of emotion. "Thank you, Lauren." "I have one condition," Lauren said. "What is it?" "I want to meet Simone first, without you. Just the 2 of us. I need to talk to her." Trent was quiet again. "I can ask her. I do not know if she will say yes." "Ask her, please." "I will." They hung up. Trent sat in his small apartment, staring at his phone. He did not know how to ask Simone for this. He did not know if she would agree. but he sent her a text message anyway. Lauren wants to meet you, without me there. She wants to talk before the kids all spend time together. Is that okay? He waited. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Then his phone buzzed. Okay? That was all Simone wrote, just one word, but it was enough. Trent texted back, "Thank you. I will tell Lauren." He called Lauren and gave her Simone's number. Lauren stared at the number on her phone screen for an hour before she did anything. Finally, she took a deep breath and sent a text. "Hi, this is Lauren, Trent's ex-wife. Can we meet for coffee? I think we should talk." At her brownstone in Back Bay, Simone was reading the Triplets, a bedtime story, when her phone buzzed. She looked at the message. She showed it to Keisha, who was visiting. "What should I do?" Simone asked. "You should meet her," Keisha said. "She is going to be in your children's lives now. Better to talk to her directly." Simone typed a response. "Okay, when?" Lauren replied immediately. "Thursday at 2 in the afternoon? Crema Cafe in Cambridge? That works." Thursday afternoon arrived cold and cloudy. Lauren drove to Crema Cafe. It was a small coffee shop with wooden tables and plants in the windows. She got there 10 minutes early. She ordered a latte and sat at a table near the back. Her hands were shaking. At 2 o'clock exactly, the door opened. Simone walked in. She wore dark jeans, a black sweater, and a long gray coat. Her hair was pulled back. She looked calm and confident. She saw Lauren and walked over. "Hi," Simone said. "Hi, thank you for meeting me." Simone sat down across from her. "Do you want me to get coffee first?" "If you want." Simone walked to the counter and ordered black coffee. She came back and sat down. For a moment, neither woman spoke. They just looked at each other. Two women whose lives had become connected because of one man. Lauren spoke first. "I wanted to thank you for agreeing to meet, and for agreeing to let Marcus and Maya meet the Triplets." "They are siblings," Simone said. "They should know each other." "I know, but I also know this situation is not your fault. You did not know Trent was married. You did not ask for any of this." Simone sipped her coffee. "No, I did not." "I was angry at first," Lauren said, "when I saw you at the school, when I saw the Triplets. I was so angry. But then I realized you are not my enemy. You were hurt by Trent, too. Maybe even more than me." Simone did not respond. She just waited. "Marcus and Maya talk about your children every single day," Lauren continued. "They love them. They want to play with them. And I know I cannot keep them apart. But I am scared." "Scared of what?" Simone asked. Lauren looked down at her latte. "Scared that my kids will compare us. Scared that they will see how successful you are and think I am boring. Scared that I am not enough." Simone was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke. Her voice was softer than before. "I raised 3 children alone while working 3 jobs. I lived in a basement apartment. I ate pasta for dinner 5 nights a week, because it was cheap. I cried myself to sleep, wondering how I was going to pay rent. You think that was easy?" "No," Lauren said. "It sounds terrible." "It was terrible, but I survived. That does not make me better than you. It just makes me someone who had to survive." Simone leaned forward. "You had a different life. You had support. You had Trent. You had money. That does not make you weak. You are raising 2 children, too. You are going through a divorce. You are rebuilding your life. That takes strength." Lauren felt tears in her eyes. "You are stronger than you think," Simone said. Lauren wiped her face with a napkin. "Thank you for saying that. I mean it." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Lauren spoke again. "Can we do this together? For the children?" Simone thought about it. Then she nodded. "Yes." They left the coffee shop together. Lauren got in her car. Simone got in hers. They drove in different directions. but something had changed between them. Not friendship, not yet, but understanding. 2 weeks before Christmas, Trent made a phone call to the Boston Children's Museum. He asked if he could rent one of their small event rooms for a private gathering. The woman on the phone said yes. The cost was $200 for 3 hours. Trent gave her his credit card information. He called Lauren. "I rented a room at the Children's Museum for next Saturday, from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 4 o'clock. Is that okay?" "That works," Lauren said. "Marcus and Maya have been asking every single day when they can play with the triplets." "Thank you for doing this." "I am doing it for them, not for you." "I know." Trent called Simone next. She answered after 3 rings. "Hello? Hi, I rented a room at the Children's Museum for next Saturday, from 1 until 4. Lauren is bringing Marcus and Maya. Can you bring Jordan, Elijah, and Zara?" "What time on Saturday?" 1 o'clock. "We will be there." She hung up. Trent stared at his phone. Simone never spoke more than necessary. Every conversation was short and direct. But at least she was speaking to him. Saturday arrived. Trent woke up early. He drove to a party store and bought balloons. Blue ones, pink ones, yellow ones. He bought paper plates and cups. He bought napkins with dinosaurs on them. Then he went to a grocery store and bought snacks. Crackers, cheese, apple slices, grapes, cookies. He drove to the Boston Children's Museum. The building was on the waterfront. It was bright red and had a large milk bottle sculpture outside. Trent parked and carried everything inside. A staff member named Jennifer showed him to the event room. It was small but nice. It had white walls, a blue carpet, tables and chairs, and shelves full of toys and games. Trent spent 30 minutes setting up. He blew up the balloons and tied them to chairs. He put the snacks on a table. He arranged crayons and paper on another table. He set out blocks and puzzles. He wanted everything to be perfect. At 12:55, he heard voices in the hallway. The door opened. Simone walked in holding hands with Jordan, Elijah, and Zara. The triplets wore jeans and colorful sweaters. Simone wore black pants and a gray sweater. She looked around the room. "You did all this?" she asked. "Yes. Is it okay?" "It is fine." The 3 children ran to the toy shelf. Elijah pulled out a toy dinosaur. Zara found a stuffed rabbit. Jordan picked up a puzzle with a picture of the solar system on it. A few minutes later, Lauren arrived with Marcus and Maya. The twins wore matching blue shirts. Lauren wore jeans and a cream-colored sweater. Her hair was down and she looked nervous. "Hi," Lauren said to everyone. "Hi," Simone replied. Trent stood awkwardly near the snack table. He did not know what to say. The 2 women looked at each other. Then Marcus saw Jordan across the room. "Jordan!" Marcus yelled. He ran across the carpet. Jordan looked up from his puzzle and smiled. Marcus hugged him. The 2 boys started laughing and talking. Maya walked over to Zara. "I like your rabbit." "Thanks. You can hold it if you want." Maya took the stuffed rabbit and hugged it. Zara smiled. Elijah ran to Marcus and Jordan. "Want to see my dinosaur? It is a T-Rex." "Cool," Marcus said. "I have one at home that roars. This one does not roar, but it is still cool." The 5 children gathered in the middle of the room. They sat on the floor together. They showed each other their toys. They talked and laughed. They looked completely comfortable together. The 3 adults stood near the door. Nobody spoke. It was awkward. Trent rubbed the back of his neck. Lauren looked at the floor. Simone crossed her arms. Finally, Lauren walked to the snack table. She opened a container of cookies. "Kids, I brought cookies if anyone is hungry." All 5 children jumped up and ran to the table. They each took a cookie and sat back down on the floor. They ate and talked at the same time. Crumbs fell on the carpet. Trent walked over and sat on the floor with them. His long legs did not fit very well, but he tried. He looked at the 5 children. They all had the same face, the same eyes, the same smile. "So," Trent said, "what do you guys like to do for fun?" "I like soccer," Elijah said, with his mouth full of cookie. "I like reading," Maya said. "I like drawing," Zara said. "I like science," Jordan said. "I like building things," Marcus said. "What do you like to build?" Trent asked. "Towers, with blocks, really tall ones." "I like building too," Jordan said. "Want to build something together?" "Yes!" Marcus and Jordan ran to the block shelf. They started building a tower together. Elijah watched for a minute, then joined them. Maya and Zara stayed on the floor. They started drawing with the crayons Trent had set out. Simone and Lauren sat on a bench near the window. They watched the children. Lauren spoke quietly. "I was so worried about this, but they look happy." "They do," Simone agreed. "I thought it would be awkward. I thought they would not know how to act around each other." Kids do not overthink things the way adults do. They just play. Lauren watched Marcus and Jordan work on their tower. Marcus talks about Jordan every single night. He says Jordan is the smartest kid in class. He says Jordan knows everything about animals. "Jordan talks about Marcus too," Simone said. "He says Marcus is really fast. He says they race every day at recess." The 2 women smiled. It was a small moment, but it was progress. Trent stayed on the floor with the children. He handed blocks to Marcus and Jordan. He admired Maya and Zara's drawings. He asked Elijah about soccer. The children talked to him more freely now. They were getting used to him. After an hour, Zara stood up. She walked to a high shelf where a toy castle sat. She reached for it but could not grab it. She looked around. Then she walked to Trent. "Can you help me?" she asked. "Of course." Trent stood up and lifted the toy castle down. He handed it to Zara. She took it with both hands. "Thank you, Daddy." The word hung in the air. Daddy. She called him Daddy. Trent felt his throat tighten. His eyes filled with tears. He knelt down. "You are welcome, sweetheart." Zara smiled and carried the castle to the floor. Maya helped her set it up. The 2 girls started playing with it together. Simone had heard what Zara said. She looked at Trent. Their eyes met for just a second. Simone's face showed nothing. Then she looked away. The afternoon passed quickly. The children built towers with blocks. They drew pictures with crayons. They played with toy cars and stuffed animals. They ate all the snacks. They laughed and ran around and talked nonstop. At 3:30, Marcus walked up to Lauren. "Mom, can we do this again?" "Maybe, honey." "When?" "I do not know yet." Marcus looked at the other children. Then he looked at Trent and Simone. "Can we all have Christmas together?" Everyone stopped. Lauren looked at Simone. Simone looked at Trent. Trent looked at the floor. "That is a big question, buddy," Lauren said. "Let me think about it." "But Christmas is in 2 weeks," Marcus said. "You have to decide soon." "I know." Maya walked over. "Please, Mom, please, can we have Christmas with Jordan and Elijah and Zara?" Lauren looked at Simone again. Simone's face was unreadable. "We will see." At 4 o'clock, it was time to leave. The children did not want to go. They begged for 5 more minutes. Trent promised they would do this again soon. Lauren and Simone started gathering their children's coats and backpacks. Marcus hugged Jordan goodbye. "See you at school on Monday." "See you," Jordan said. Maya hugged Zara. Elijah high-fived Marcus. The 5 children waved to each other as they left. Lauren took Marcus and Maya down to the parking lot. Simone took Jordan, Elijah, and Zara down a different elevator. Trent stayed behind in the event room. He cleaned up the snack wrappers and deflated the balloons. He threw away the trash. He looked at the drawings the children had made. One of them showed 6 people holding hands. Zara had drawn it. She had labeled everyone: Mommy, Jordan, Elijah, Zara, Marcus, Maya, and in the middle, she had written Daddy. Trent folded the drawing carefully and put it in his pocket. He turned off the lights and left the room. Jennifer from the museum staff was waiting in the hallway. "How did it go?" she asked. "It went really well," Trent said. "Thank you." He walked out of the museum into the cold December air. The sun was setting over the harbor. The sky was orange and pink. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out. It was a text message from Simone. "The children asked if you can come to our house for Christmas morning. It is up to you." Trent stood on the street, reading the message over and over. The children asked if he could come for Christmas morning. His children wanted him there. He typed back immediately, "Yes, I would love to, thank you." 3 dots appeared. Simone was typing. Then her message came through. 9 o'clock in the morning. Do not be late. Trent smiled. It was the first time he had smiled in months. The next 2 weeks passed slowly. Trent went to work. He met with the triplets on Saturday mornings. He picked up Marcus and Maya on Sunday afternoons. He bought Christmas presents for all 5 children. He wrapped them carefully at his small apartment table. Lauren called him 3 days before Christmas. "Simone texted me. She said you are coming to her house on Christmas morning." "Yes, is that okay?" "The twins are very excited," Lauren said. "I told them I would bring them over for an hour so they can be with their siblings." "You are coming too?" Trent asked. "Yes, for a little while. The kids want us all to be together." "Thank you, Lauren." "I am not doing it for you," she said, but her voice was softer than before. "Merry Christmas, Trent." "Merry Christmas." Christmas morning arrived bright and cold. Snow had fallen during the night. The city was white and quiet. Trent woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He could not sleep. He took a shower and got dressed. Jeans and a dark green sweater. He loaded the wrapped presents into his car and drove to Back Bay. Simone's brownstone was beautiful in the snow. The steps were covered in white. Christmas lights hung in the windows. Trent parked on the street and carried the presents to the front door. He rang the doorbell. His heart was pounding. The door opened. Jordan stood there wearing pajamas with snowflakes on them. His face broke into a smile. "Merry Christmas, Trent." It was the warmest greeting Jordan had ever given him. Trent felt his chest fill with emotion. "Merry Christmas, Jordan. Come in. We have a tree. It is really big." Trent stepped inside. The house smelled like cinnamon and coffee. The hallway had wooden floors and pictures on the walls. Pictures of Jordan, Elijah, and Zara at different ages. Baby pictures, school pictures, birthday pictures. Trent had missed all of those moments. Jordan led him to the living room. A Christmas tree stood in the corner. It was at least 7 feet tall. It had white lights and ornaments of every color. Presents were piled underneath. Elijah and Zara ran down the stairs when they heard voices. "You came!" Elijah shouted. He ran and hugged Trent's legs. Zara walked over more slowly. She was wearing pajamas with reindeer on them. "Merry Christmas, Daddy." There was that word again. Daddy. Trent knelt down and hugged her. "Merry Christmas, Zara." Simone came out of the kitchen. She wore jeans and a red sweater. Her hair was down. She held a mug of coffee. She looked at Trent. "Good morning." "Good morning. Thank you for letting me come." "The children wanted you here." Trent set the presents under the tree. The triplets immediately started shaking them and trying to guess what was inside. Simone told them they had to wait until Marcus and Maya arrived. "Can we have hot chocolate while we wait?" Elijah asked. "Sure, baby. Come to the kitchen." They all went to the kitchen. It had white cabinets and black countertops. A small table sat near the window. Simone made hot chocolate for the children. She poured coffee for Trent. They sat at the table. The children talked about what they hoped was in the presents. They talked about school. They talked about snow. At 9:15, the doorbell rang. The triplets jumped up and ran to the door. Trent followed them. Jordan opened the door. Marcus and Maya stood on the steps with Lauren. The twins wore matching red sweaters. Lauren wore a long black coat and held a bag of presents. "Marcus! Maya!" the triplets shouted together. The 5 children hugged each other. They jumped up and down with excitement. Lauren stepped inside. Her eyes met Trent's. She gave him a small nod. "Merry Christmas!" "Merry Christmas, Lauren." Simone came to the doorway. "Merry Christmas, Lauren. Come in. It is cold out there." Lauren took off her coat. Simone hung it in the closet. The 2 women looked at each other. Then Simone said, "Do you want coffee?" "That would be nice. Thank you." They all went to the living room. The 5 children sat on the floor around the Christmas tree. They looked at all the presents. They could barely sit still. Trent, Simone, and Lauren stood near the doorway, holding their coffee cups. "Can we open presents now?" Marcus asked. "Yes," Simone said. "Go ahead." The children started grabbing presents. They read the tags to see whose name was on each one. They took turns opening them. Jordan got a science kit with a microscope and slides. Elijah got a soccer ball and shin guards. Zara got a big wooden box filled with paints, brushes, and a sketchbook. Marcus got a red toy fire truck that made siren sounds. Maya got 3 books about teaching and a toy chalkboard. The children showed each other their gifts. They talked over each other with excitement. Trent watched them. He had bought the presents for the triplets. He had spent hours in stores trying to find the perfect things. Seeing their happy faces made everything worth it. After all the presents were opened, Simone went to the kitchen. "Who wants breakfast?" "Me!" all 5 children yelled at once. Simone had made pancakes earlier. She reheated them and put them on plates. She added fruit and bacon. Everyone sat at the dining room table. It was the first time all 8 of them had sat together for a meal. The table was crowded, 3 adults and 5 children, plates and cups everywhere, syrup dripping, bacon crunching. The children talked and laughed. They showed each other bites of their food. They stole pieces of fruit from each other's plates. Trent sat between Zara and Elijah. Zara kept showing him her new paints. She opened the wooden box and showed him every single color. "This one is called Midnight Blue, and this one is called Sunset Orange." "They are beautiful," Trent said. Zara looked up at him. "Thank you for my paints, Daddy." Trent's eyes filled with tears. He tried to blink them away, but one rolled down his cheek. Zara saw it. "Why are you crying?" "Because I am happy," Trent said. "Very happy." Zara smiled and went back to looking at her paints. After breakfast, Lauren checked her phone. "I should take Marcus and Maya to my parents' house. They are expecting us for lunch." The twins did not want to leave. They begged for 5 more minutes. Lauren finally agreed to 10 more minutes. The children went back to the living room to play with their new toys. Simone told the triplets to go play. She wanted to talk to the adults alone. The 3 children ran upstairs with their presents. Simone, Trent, and Lauren stood in the kitchen. "This was nice," Lauren said. "The kids were really happy." "They were," Simone agreed. Lauren looked at Trent. "You did a good job today." Marcus and Maya could not stop smiling. "Thank you," Trent said quietly. Lauren picked up her purse. I need to get the twins ready. Merry Christmas to both of you. She walked upstairs to get Marcus and Maya. Simone and Trent stood alone in the kitchen. The house was quiet, except for the sound of children playing upstairs. Thank you, Trent said, for letting me be here, for letting me be part of this. I know I do not deserve it. Simone leaned against the counter. She held her coffee mug with both hands. She looked at Trent for a long time. Then she spoke. I forgive you. Trent stared at her. What? I forgive you, she said again, for leaving me, for blocking my number, for missing the first 5 years of their lives. I forgive you. Do you mean it? Trent's voice was barely a whisper. Yes. I was angry for a long time. I held on to that anger because it made me feel strong, but it was also making me tired. I do not want to be angry anymore. I do not forget what you did, but I choose to forgive you so I can move forward. Trent started crying. He put his hands over his face. His shoulders shook. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for everything. Simone did not move. She did not hug him. She just stood there holding her coffee. I know you are sorry. Now you need to prove it. Not to me, to them. She pointed toward the stairs where the children were playing. I will, Trent said. Every single day. I will show up. I will be there. I promise. Do not make promises you cannot keep. I will keep this one. Lauren came downstairs with Marcus and Maya. They were wearing their coats and holding their new presents. The twins hugged Jordan, Elijah, and Zara goodbye. Lauren thanked Simone again and left with the children. After they were gone, Simone walked upstairs. Trent stood in the kitchen. He did not know if he should leave too. Then he heard Zara call from upstairs. Daddy, come see my room. Trent walked upstairs. The triplets' bedroom was large, with 3 twin beds. Each bed had different colored blankets. Posters covered the walls. Toys filled the shelves. The 3 children were sitting on the floor with their new presents. Sit with us, Jordan said. Trent sat on the floor. His long legs did not fit well, but he tried. The children showed him how their new toys worked. Elijah kicked his soccer ball gently across the room. Jordan looked at slides under his microscope. Zara started painting on a piece of paper. Simone stood in the doorway, watching. She did not say anything. She just watched Trent with their children. After a few minutes, she went to her own room and closed the door. Trent stayed with the triplets for 2 more hours. They played games. They built towers with blocks. They asked him questions about his job and his apartment and what he ate for breakfast. They asked him if he would come back next week. He said yes. They asked if he would come back the week after that. He said yes. At noon, Trent knew he should leave. He stood up and stretched. His back hurt from sitting on the floor. I should go, but I will see you guys really soon, okay? Okay, they all said together. Trent walked downstairs. Simone was in the living room reading a book. She looked up when she heard him. Thank you again, Trent said. This was the best Christmas I have ever had. Simone nodded. The children were happy. That is what matters. Can I take them next weekend? Maybe to the aquarium? Simone thought about it. Text me on Thursday. We will figure it out. Okay. Trent walked to the front door. He put on his coat. He looked back at the living room, at the Christmas tree, at the house where his children lived, the house he had never seen until today. Simone, she looked up from her book. Yes? I will spend the rest of my life earning their trust, and maybe that is my real redemption. Not getting you back, not fixing what I broke between us, but showing up for them every single day. Simone looked at him with her calm, steady gaze. Then do it. Show up. Prove it. Trent nodded. He walked out the door into the cold December afternoon. Snow was falling again. He got in his car and drove back to his small apartment. But for the first time in 6 years, he felt like maybe he was exactly where he was supposed to be. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen